in today's video, I will be sharing about what toys we have at the stage that we're in right now. My kids are about to be, in a couple of months, they're going to be 4. My daughter's going to be 4 and my son will be 2 in a few months. So I want to share and give you an update of what toys we have for them, what we really like. I think that everything that we own right now, I really love. So I'm going to share with you guys what we have, what they have to play with, and yeah, let's get into it. Thanks. Okay, this is probably the only thing that I don't love at the moment. I got this game for them one day that I was at Target, and I was like, sure, why not? We haven't gotten them, new toys in a long time, so I decided to, spend like $5 on this. When I got it to them, I realized that they're just way too little to play with this. My daughter is just starting to get the hang of the game, but my son is like, I don't know what this is for. Here we have my daughter's dolls. This doll we got at a toddler class that she went to once, and since the moment that she got this doll, it became her favorite thing to play with. And then this other dolly, which I got from a handmade shop that I will link below, because they make diverse dolls for diverse kids, and I love the girl who runs the shop, and we bought this for her. So then here I have a camera, and then here I have random boxes, because right now my son is really into opening boxes, like using his little fingers to open them. I don't have anything in here right now, but what I do is that I put little toys inside so that when he opens the boxes, he can play with them. This one is the harder one to open, but see, we have like random little toys that he can find and play with. And he's really into that right now. So not a toy, but just so you know, when you're a minimalist, kids play with whatever they can find, and that was something that they found, so I figured it's safe, let them have it. The next thing that they have is Legos. We have kept this since my daughter was about like 2 years old, and they love it. My daughter builds with it a little bit, but I feel like my son is really into just putting them together, taking them apart, putting them together, taking them apart, and he spends a lot of time just doing that. So this has been a great purchase. By the way, all of the baskets that we have gotten at Target in their storage basket section. So this has been a really great buy, and it keeps the toys looking organized and in like very beautiful containers. The next basket that we have for my son is a basket full of books. He loves books. He will spend every single day reading, looking at them over and over, and then bringing them to me, and we have read all of these books 20,000 times, but he has gotten so much language out of them, and he just loves books. It's just something that I noticed that he did from very, very young, and it's just been a great purchase. Obviously, they just, he's still little, so he doesn't know how to take care of them, but that's why I have them available for him. This, which my kids also really like, it's a Chatbooks that I got for myself, and it has pictures of our family, but I left it in here because they love looking at pictures of themselves and of our family. So and these are such great quality, and honestly, like, I'm surprised that my son hasn't ripped out a page out of them, but they just love going through them and saying, like, Mom is here, and Abuelita is here, and Dad is here, and, all of that. So I recommend having, especially for a toddler, a book where they see pictures of their family. Like, for them, it's really nice to see themselves, pictures of themselves or people that they know in a book. It's really cool. The next thing that we have is what is this? Building track, train track building. And we have some train tracks. And I also have a helicopter. So I'm going to tell you the story with this. This is a toy that they got for Christmas maybe 2 years ago that was at my mom's house, and I asked her if I could have it because they really love, well, my daughter really loves building the train tracks. This is a Melissa and Doug toy, and it comes with the train tracks, but it also comes with a set of a ton of little cars. So what happened was that I felt like they weren't playing with the cars as much. Like, it was like they built a track and then they were car toys everywhere, because it comes with like 20, maybe even more, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I just feel like they have a lot of little cars that comes with this toy. So I had to edit. Like, that's how I call it. This, every single time that I go through their toys, I edit what I think is just way too overwhelming. It's way too much. And I just feel like they're not being really played with. So they were really interested in the helicopter. Is one of their favorite things. Like, they love just like going like this with this toy. And then the reason, well, the trains obviously go with the train tracks, but they just love the magnets. You know, they just love like just putting the magnets together and just seeing how if you put the magnets together and then you put them in the track, they just stay together. So that's been really cool. So I wanted to keep those there. So the next thing we have are these Magnatiles. They are awesome. As soon as my daughter turned 3 years old, that was her gift for her 3-year birthday from us. At the beginning, she kind of didn't know how to put them together. It kind of took a little bit of a process for her to figure out that she could build this. But maybe a few months after having them, then she started realizing how to put them together and how to build these things. And I've been really happy with the quality, with the way that they play with them. Also, a great thing about these is that they're clear, they're see-through. And my daughter recently realized, and this is something that she's really into right now, let me find another one, is that she can mix colors when she puts them together. Like, it becomes purple, or I don't know if you can see, maybe better with the yellow and the blue. And so she's been fascinating with like putting them together and realizing that they make new colors, and it's been a great way for her to learn about mixing the colors. And so these have really been amazing. You can build like 3D like structures, or you can put them on the window and they reflect it. Like, if the sun is coming in, they reflect the shadow. It's a beautiful toy, and it's been such a great purchase. I've been really happy with this. So that's one that I would recommend to any child. Like, what toys to get? Definitely the Magna Tiles. They're awesome, and my kids really, really enjoy them. My son is just learning how to put them together, and even just, as I said, like, they're just interested in like, oh, they're magnet, you know, they stay together when I put them together. So, great toy. I highly recommend that one. This is another toy that we're missing some pieces, but we got this for my son when he turned 1, and now he's not as interested because he already knows how to put them in. But I remember when he first got it, like, he for so long just stayed like figuring out how to put these things together and put them inside. And I feel like for 1-year-olds, this is such a great toy. Like, they really are fascinated with like taking something and like, it goes inside. It's amazing. So I highly recommend this toy for a 1-year-old, or for a baby. Like, if you have less than a 1-year-old and they're turning 1 soon, this is a great thing to have. The next thing that we have is this car tracker. It's really cool. Both my kids really enjoy it. It's something that they do for not as long of a time. Like, I feel like they play with this maybe for a few minutes, but they'll come back to it. Like, when they're playing with something and they see it at the corner of their eye, they like to put the cars to go in, and then they'll leave it and then they'll come back to it. So for me, it's been a good purchase. I don't remember what brand this is, but they have different brands that do the same thing. There's even some that have balls that you can just drag a little ball down, and it's really cool because the noise it makes. So I'll show you. So I'm gonna put one of the cars. And it's just so cool to see it going down. And so my kids play with this quite a bit. I feel like, as I said, like it's just a toy that they'll come back to. So I have it. Sometimes I pull it out so that they can play with. It's not something that is out all the time. But I don't know. I really like it, and I feel like they really like seeing it go down the track. So that's really cool. So let me get more things that I have. Okay, so this is the toy that I actually got for free at a mom's group that I went to, and they had just things that they weren't using anymore. So I got this for free from a mom, and I think it's really cool. So they're actually stacking blocks, and they also come with these things. So it's a shape sorter as well, so you can put the shapes in. So I'll explain. The thing with this toy, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in so that you can see, because you can also put them inside. They all fit together in there, so it can be a tower, or they can all be stacked together. What I realized with this toy was that I had it first out like that for my 1-year-old, and I had also these pieces on the side. And to be honest, I feel like it was really confusing for him. Like, it was too many things going on. It was a tower, and then you could put them together, and then you could put the shapes inside. So obviously, like, my 3.5-year-old, as soon as I got it, she was like, oh, I know what to do with this. I can build it, I can put it inside, or I can put the shapes. She like got it. But for my 1-year-old, it was really overwhelming to see like all these options, and he didn't know what to do with them. So for the longest time, he was just interested in doing this. Fits. Just doing it over and over, like just putting this one to the shape. So for a while I realized, well, he's just playing with these 2 blocks, so I'll just keep them outside, just the 2 of these, so that he can do that. And for a while he did just that. Now I feel like he's starting to realize that there's more pieces that fit together. Kind of. So now I'm trying to figure out like how to present that to him so that he can understand what to do with it. But yeah, the other thing is that maybe I'm thinking that instead of just these 2, I'll present just this shape and this shape, and then they goes inside, and maybe he'll figure out that like the shapes go inside too. But I feel like just having it all out, it was just too much. At some point, I think that he'll realize, like, he's starting to build towers with it, but the problem is that if you build a tower like this, right, then he'll try to put the next block, and it just like goes inside, and he can't keep building it. So he's trying to work through that. But I think that I like this toy. It's really well made. It's made out of wood. So I keep it out there just for him to figure out. I like it. I feel like he spends quite a lot of time like putting them together. So that's that. Now, I've told you in previous videos that I've been really into implementing and introducing more Montessori things in our house for our kids. And this is one of the classic Montessori toys. Most of the people that have seen it, they've seen it that they have like 10 of these, like it has like 10 circles. This is like the toddler version of this toy, which only has 3. And I got this from a shop in Etsy, which I will link below, because they are so well made. This toy is so heavy, and the pieces are so well done. And I just recently introduced this to my son, and I feel like he really likes it. Like, both of my kids were really interested in like the weight and the fact that these pieces going together. Now there's two. I'm just going to show you. There's two of these. Each of these do something different. So this is I think it's called a height discrimination toy, which means that every piece has a different height. And the whole point is that they will fit inside and this to be the same height. So if you put it like this, you'll realize that it kind of doesn't go together. When I presented this toy to my son, he didn't understand. He just, because he is really into puzzles, the fact that the pieces just fit in either or was like, he was like, okay, I'm done. Like, it doesn't matter if it looks like this. I just like the fact that the pieces fit in either one of them was like fine for him. So then I realized that it was better for him to start with this one. And this one is a width discrimination toy. I think that's what it's called, which all the pieces are different widths. And then this one is a little bit more clear to him, because if he tries to put this one in here, doesn't fit. It fits. Fits. So to him, this was more of a challenge and more like, oh, okay, if I try to put this one here, it won't fit. And now he's doing it really fast. Like, he sees the piece and he's like, yep, I know this one goes here. I know this one goes here. So I think soon I'll introduce this back to him so that he can see that they all have to fit in the same height. But for now, he's been spending a lot of time figuring this out and just like, oh, no. So I'll have this out for a little while. I have this one up top in the closet, and then soon I'll switch them. And then the next thing will be to have them both so that he can try to figure out where do each piece go together with 6 of them all together. And I highly recommend this shop. The pieces are just so well made, and it was just a great, like, it's a toy that would look beautiful in any shelf, and it was such a great like mind game, and he loves that stuff. So he's really into puzzles, into reading. He's a very much intellectual boy. So for me, those things have been great. So the last thing that I have here are puzzles. They're all different puzzles that I have. So the thing with puzzles is that I do have them out for my kids to play with, but I just feel like the pieces end up going everywhere. I'm still trying to keep them so that the pieces all stay together, but I just feel like my son just likes to grab it and then walk all the way around the house with the pieces, and they start disappearing, and then I don't know where the pieces are. So I try to leave at least one puzzle out at a time. I have all the pieces in Ziploc bags so that I can keep them together. So I have those there. And we have this one, which is a great color sorter. My son is just starting to try to put this together in the right colors. So I think around 2 years old, like, this is a good puzzle for a 2-year-old. These are for letters. They have like each one of these has like a letter puzzle that you can put. My 3-year-old, my almost 4-year-old is just starting to put these together by herself. Because it's not like those puzzles that they show you the letter and then you, oh, that's the letter, like match it. Is more like there's an abstract sounding picture to each letter. So it's a little bit harder. Like I feel like you have to know what the word is and what the sound of the letter is to put it back together. So we're just starting to, like, she's starting to understand those and put it together herself. That's a good one for like a 3.5-year-old and up. Then the numbers, she figured this one really quick, even though it's the same thing. You kind of have to count the numbers and figure it out, but she just kind of knows what the shapes look like, so she can put it together herself, and she started doing that around 3.5. Then this was the first puzzle that I introduced to my son. Big shapes, and then I also have this one. These two are really great. I feel like kids, like 1.5-year-olds, will get this one first before this one, because even though these are like big shapes, it has all different things that they kind of have to like put it together, so it takes a little bit more practice. The shapes are kind of a little bit more, they see the shape and they match the shape and they match the colors as well. So this one is a little bit easier. I feel like when they can do this one, they can probably do this one. It's a good starting puzzles to do. So those are the puzzles that I have. And that's basically what they have out for them to play with. That, and then the last thing that I have in the closet are art supplies. I have crayons, markers, pencils, glue. I also have some activity books that my daughter at this age, she loves. And I usually take those out only when the baby is napping or when I'm watching both of them, because it's art supplies. So, you know, the writing on the walls and all that stuff is really fun. So I really have to keep an eye on them with that. The other things that I have is that when my son takes a nap, I am starting to do some homeschooling with my daughter. She's almost 4 years old and she is not in preschool. And so I decided that I was going to do some, you know, like homeschooling exercises. And so she has like other things that I use for other exercises that aren't necessarily toys. So I have those somewhere else. But some of the things that she has when my son goes to sleep that I don't like for my son to just play with by himself are these. This is like a threading exercise that my daughter works with. The other thing that she works with are these. This is a great puzzle for like starting letters. And because they have so many little letters and my son probably doesn't know what to do with them, I only take this out when he's napping. These are like things that my daughter can do, activities that she can do while my son is taking his nap. And once he's done taking his nap, we take this away and put it away. The next thing that I have are this one, and this is for numbers, and I'll show you. So it has a number, and then it comes with pegs. So each peg goes inside, and then it has, depending on the number, that's how many pegs it has, and it has them from 1 to 10. So I have the numbers here and the pegs. Now these are toys that my daughter will do the activity first, so like putting the pegs inside each of the things, but then, you know, she'll find some other creative way of starting to play with them and doing other things with these type of toys. So those are things that, as long as she is not hurting herself or, you know, just doing something that I don't feel like it's appropriate, she can play with these freely as much as she wants. We also got this Montessori sandpaper letter book, which it's been pretty cool. She kind of traces the sandpaper with her fingers, and then it's learning the sound that the letter makes, not just the letter, not the name of the letter, which is kind of how in Montessori they teach the sound that the letter makes before they teach the name of the letter. Because that helps with writing, and then that helps with reading when you see the letters together instead of just like A and B, and what does that have to do with each other. They just teach the sound that each letter makes to put them together. And yeah, so that's what we have as far as toys. I feel like right now we have quite a few toys. But I feel like my kids really enjoy and play with what we have. I'm really happy with the quality of the toys that we have, which that's very, very important to me. I've seen a lot of creativity and creative play come out of these things. So yeah, I'm really happy with the things that we have now. So I hope that you found that helpful. I am going to try to link everything that we have below. I'm really happy with what we have. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for staying with me for this long. I'll see you next time. Bye.